Side Scrolls is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on YouTube.com with me, Stuttering Craig. I like movies that have sand in them. Wow.
He doesn't like it in his mouth.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
I don't like the texture in my mouth.
What? And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch.tv. What's going on, everybody? Hey, happy Tuesday to you. I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the #1 and most important video game daily podcast broadcasting on this channel starting at 11 a.m. Central Time with Blabs as a co-host. It's Side Scrollers. Let's freaking go. Hello, Travis. Good morning. What day is today?
Today is Johnny Appleseed Day.
Everyone's dropping
and
their seed.
Alpaca Day.
Oh, well, I would have lived Alpaca Day. That's good. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate that. Blabs, apple seeds or alpacas?
Alpacas. I had to train them once. They're fun. They bounce around all crazy like.
Don't they spit around and like?
They spit at you if if they're pissed off at you and get aggressive. They can chase you.
Also, National Lumberjack Day.
All right. I should go get some. You should have told me that. We all should have worn our lumberjack apparel today. Our flannel. That would have been great.
I mean, it's too hot to wear flannel. But
I mean, you got the flannel thing going on today, Blabs. You got a
but
little.
this is really thin. This is like cotton. It's like 61 degrees out. I don't
Right,
wear flannel.
Wait, 61 hot or cold for you?
It's mid. Kind of like mid bitches.
Mid. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome on out, everybody. We're going to have a good show today. We have a great guest, someone who has never been on our show before, but has been following my career for a long-ass time. I'm really excited. This is a G2 plucked right from the community. Joining us today, it's Op Williams. Hello, Op Williams. I've been saying AWP Williams for 20 years, but here we are. It's Op. Good to see you, buddy.
Yes, I'm finally here.
You've
it's
joined
like I
us.
Finally got a job at Screw Attack, but not really.
Like about a decade too late on that one.
Yeah.
but look, maybe Side Scrollers. Who knows? But well, I'm glad you're here. Can you tell everybody where they can find you if they want to find you? Are you on YouTube? Do you Twitch stream? Tell everybody about what you got going on.
I got a lot of things going on. You want me to just fire them off?
Sure, fire away.
You're the boss, Craig. May I have the floor?
Yes.
Floor.
You mean like the whole? Wow, look at him. All right, let's go. I like this.
The man did.
Give me the fucking floor. Let's go.
Hi there. My name's Op Williams. You can find me on youtube.com/Op Williams. Right now I'm playing through Baldur's Gate 3. It's a great game. You should check it out. Also, you can find me on Twitter or X. Twitter.com/Op Williams. There in my bio, you can find my link tree, which links to everything else I do online. You can find my portfolio on my personal website with all of my art. I'm an artist. You can also find my merch store with all my art on it, where I sell t-shirts with my art on it.
Wow.
Like this one.
Look at him go.
Just
make cool shit. I love that.
Nice.
It's a motto I live by. Also, and not least, you can find my Fiverr seller page. I'm a graphic designer, a video editor, and a voice actor. So if you need someone to make you a YouTube thumbnail, YouTube background, or a logo for anything, I'm your man. If you need someone to edit video for you, I got you. If you also need a professional voiceover, I got you.
Damn.
I'm a guy with a lot of different talents, but not a whole lot of opportunities, except the one I just took. Thank you very much.
Damn, let's go. Let's
I
go,
like
everyone.
that.
Go get them.
That's good.
I love that
that.
when you and I were talking to each other, you sent me this picture and you said, "So I got some suggestive artwork behind me. Is that okay?"
You?
This
that's
thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
boobies.
Look at those tits and vagina back there. Is there a vagina back there, or is that just like a crack?
That's ass.
Oh, ass.
Yeah.
Why do you hate
That's
ass?
ass, bro.
It's not about hate. It's about social media. That one right there is about Twitter.
Mm.
Yeah.
You hate Twitter ass?
No, it's okay. So the one with hate, it's blue. It's a symbol of Twitter. Like this one over here says envy. It's one for Instagram, and there's a bunch of them up there that mean different things.
Social commentary
right.
coming at your face, not on your face, but at your face from Op Williams. Love that. Way to go. Good stuff. Wow. I feel like we got to know you so well. So listen, everyone go and support this young lad and his wonderful hair.
I was saving that for the end.
Just the big finish.
Yeah.
The big finale.
Now I don't know what to do.
Oh man. Look, we got a great show today. We have so much to talk about. We have look. One strike is over. Another strike is about to begin. Lord. We have a Capcom COO coming in talking about the price of games, which I'm sure will make everybody super happy. We are going to talk about The Office potentially getting a reboot. No, is getting a reboot. Ugh. And I have on my run sheet here, it just says the biggest dick in Hollywood.
I didn't put that there.
I did. We also have a bunch of quick hits where we're going to get into some serious video game journalism here. Blab some enough of this nonsense. Let's talk video games.
Is Andy Dick on the show today?
Oh God, no. I don't think he'd be anywhere near the top of the list, don't you think? I mean, you know,
he is I mean, not physically. I mean, he's a big dick.
Is he? I don't know how big of a man he is. I don't know. This is
he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
I think he'd be too drunk to wake up this early.
That's a good point. Too drunk or high or something. But if you guys are popping in, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate that. Our goal, as always, is 333 thumbs up, because we have bypassed the 300 the last few shows. So let's bump it up a bit. Those are rookie numbers. Now let's go 333. We just passed 42,000 subscribers, which is so great. So if you're just popping in for the first time watching the live show, make sure you guys say hello. Our goal, as always, is to reach 20. I was going to say 200, but if you guys want to 200, 20 members every single show. Let's see if we can do that and continue our reign of terror across the internet. Tonight, kind of big news. I'm going to be on Tuesday night main event tonight over on the Geek Gamers channel, and I plan on being on Tuesday night main event regularly for the foreseeable future as a regular co-host. So make sure you guys find me tonight at around 7:00 Central Time, Tuesday night main event over on the Geeks and Gamers channel. In addition to Geeks and Gamers, this Thursday, we'll be doing a one-on-one with Jeremy, D-Day Cobra. Op, is there anything you'd like for me to ask D-Day Cobra for you?
I don't know how that is.
Good.
Good.
Blabs is back, which means we are
Yeah.
playing Sonic the Hedgehog over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel. Blabs versus returns after a 4-week hiatus.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. It's been ridiculous, Blabs, but I'm glad you're back, and I'll be laughing at you immensely.
Listen, I will not draw on Sonic today.
No promises. No promises.
Oh, Sonic, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Sonic.
Yesterday, I had one of the greatest video game accomplishments in my illustrious career. I use that term.
Beat
illustrious.
Dark Souls blindfolded.
No, I won a game of F-Zero 99, which was spectacular. And if you would, I just want to share my sheer joy with you. Travis, did you witness this yesterday? Did you have a chance to see this? Blabs, did you see this?
No.
Can I just show you guys the last, 30 seconds of this race?
If I say no, what happens?
I won't show it.
I'll show it. Now I'm curious now.
Okay. Op, you cool if I show this to you?
Yeah, you do you.
Okay, sounds good. So here was yesterday. This was after 2 hours of literally getting, I would get right to the end of a race and I would blow up because I was pushing it to the limit too much. And after the G2s helped me and gave me a little bit of strategy, I was able to strategize a bit, use their strategy, which ultimately led to this moment right here. Here we are on the final lap, and here it is. Hold it. I have my power up here, my yellow power. I'm holding it. Part of the strategy. Go there. Up into second.
Shit.
Don't crash.
Bunch of red cars. These are like bombs. You got to avoid them. Cut them on the inside. Oh, God.
Wow.
Speed past them. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We did it. We did it. Oh, my God. I am the winner.
I will
That
say
looks
this:
incredibly hard with all those red cars. Wow.
Yes.
if they
Stole the
do
win.
this with more old games and make them online play for people who like to play the old games, so they can play against other people, there's a lot of money in that, especially with Nintendo.
It was awesome. It was a great moment. I loved it. The full stream is up on the channel. I'm going to be posting pretty much that video right there later at 5 o'clock this afternoon, just to kind of give it a little bit of space to breathe after Blab's versus. So that video will be going up this afternoon, just a couple minutes long, but it was awesome. Oh, that was
That
me,
is
wasn't
actually
it?
really cool. I'm proud of you, Craig.
Game looks great, by the way.
Hold on, I'm hearing myself. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I was hearing myself in my headphones. I was like, why am I hearing myself? And it's because Rumble was playing. Which, by the way, you guys can follow us over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Closing in on 3,500 followers over there. So hit the follow button over there. Appreciate it. Rocker something over on Rumble says, getting first in F099 was Craig's crowning achievement in life. I mean, like wife, children, selling businesses and having Op on the show. Those are pretty high up there. But here we are. F-Zero may have taken the whole thing.
Number one, baby.
Number one. Trying to think if there's anything else. Trav, Blabs, anything we need to know before we move on to
I'm like 7 subs away from 500 subs on my YouTube, which is pretty cool considering all I do is post Harry Potter stuff there. So if you're curious about that, follow me on YouTube. Thanks.
There will be a day, Blabs, where you just bypass everybody, which is wonderful.
I mean, I don't even think you follow me on YouTube. I'm calling you out right now.
I don't even know what your channel is. Hey, Blake came in with the $2 super chat. Says, best I've done is 69th place. Let's go, Blake. Nice.
Yeah.
And Chris.
You don't want fake subs who don't watch anyway, right?
That's right. You want authentic subs. I'm not going to watch your shit, Blabs. You kidding me?
I'm not gonna watch your shit, Blabs.
I don't know anything about Harry Potter.
He doesn't like Harry Potter. So
he doesn't like me. It's all right, guys. I get it. So cool. He just insults me left and right every day. It's cool. I just cry on the inside, smile on the outside.
I don't know anything about Harry Potter. What do you want me to do?
Support, Craig. Support.
Go and watch and learn about Harry Potter.
Yeah, the new show's gonna come out in a couple years, and that's all you're gonna be hearing for a very long time. It's gonna be huge. Like, not even from me. I'm saying this like as an entertainment perspective. It's gonna be big. Like bigger than Star Wars. You'll see.
You've read Percy Jackson, right, Blabs?
Yeah.
Did you see that new TV show trailer?
Oh, it looks awful. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. And they're taking the movie and just making it into a TV show, basically. And although some things are more accurate to the book, they look like trash.
They look like shit. It's Disney Plus. What can you say?
Yeah, Disney. Man.
Here it is, Blabs. Right here, right now. We are making our way over.
He's gonna go and unsubscribe as soon as he minimizes the tab.
No, all I'm gonna do is scroll on over here and show everybody right here on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see the highlight on it. Even you too can hover over it and not click subscribe like I did.
To Yellow Flash and not you.
I know. I'm like his child on the internet, but now he doesn't subscribe to me. It's sad. My feelings are hurt a little bit. It's all right, Craig.
All right, Blabs. I just subscribed. Fine. Damn it. Hey, Chris came in with the 10. Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate your support. It says SAG-AFTRA wanting to strike against the games industry is next level narcissism on their part. screen acting / VO / mocap are a fairly small niche of the industry.
Well,
games work just fine without them. Oh, Chris,
now
we're gonna get into
is
that.
certainly not the time either with AI.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Now's not the time for voice actors to like stick it to anybody.
Well, we we just had Mr. Gregory on the show, and he's an AI wizard. And we if you recall, last time he was on, he had voice acting me, AI me, and I was really impressed by it to the point to where I nearly quit just right then and there. And I was like, well, we need to make AI side scrollers.
And if you recall, some of the parts that didn't sound like you could clearly tell they were because it was fed certain clips of you like introducing the show, so you're being real loud and boisterous. If they aren't fed that stuff, it'll sound completely normal.
Right. Derby Wormy came in with the 2. Says, Blabs, don't worry, I'm not sub to you either. Let's go.
Thanks, man. I want to point out I just passed 500 subs, so thank you guys.
Oh, so I can unsubscribe now?
No, I will literally like. Do you feel that? That's me like slapping you from a distance right now.
Well, I'll just say this: when Blabs becomes bigger than you, and you ask her to collaborate,
fine, I'll do it myself.
I'm just kidding, Blabs.
She's gonna say, "No, you remember."
No. You know what's funny? I have a story. For another time, but I actually have a very big instance just like that, which was totally not to be malicious at all. But I would love to share that story. It has to do with probably what you're talking about. Creators on YouTube right now, which is funny. So
I remember the day that he asked how to get a hold of you. He asked me, and I said, "Oh, you have," and I went and looked, and I said, "Wow, you're really attractive to him." And I probably shouldn't have said that to him, but I remember then I watched him a few times, and then like 2 years later, he's huge.
Yeah, We'll tell everybody who you're talking about.
Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig, who's major for sure.
Yeah, he said, how do I get a hold of Craig? I said, email him.
That's another story for another time for sure. Well, I and there was nothing malicious about it, but it's definitely an interesting conversation. Sandman came in, says, "Don't worry, Blabs, you're way more adorable than Krista." 199. Oh, don't be like that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Like the same age and everything. That's just mean.
Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Krista's great. By the way, we got to get Krista on the show sometime. I would love to have Krista on. That'd be super fun. All right, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. Thank you, Adam. All right, and thank you, Paul, for that wonderful rendition. Okay, this was, we talked about this before, but it has now been made official. Adam in there. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. The SAG-AFTRA members vote to authorize a video game strike. Now, what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? Does it mean that our video games are going to stop production immediately? Does it mean that for the next 6 months, we're going to stop down and have no video games made? Does it mean that we're going to have a giant hole of video games not being delivered to our faces?
I hope not.
No, it doesn't. But members of the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, what a boring ass, lame, stupid name, have voted to authorize a video game strike with 98.3% votes in their favor. 27% of eligible voters voted. So what does that mean? And by the way, IGN actually does a very good job of being pretty concise with their articles, which is why I like to credit IGN with their handiwork. To be clear, this doesn't mean video game performers are going on strike, but it does mean that the union negotiators have the go-ahead from their members to call for one if they feel it necessary when their negotiations with video game companies, including obviously the big ones, Activision, Disney, EA, Take-Two, blah, 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 resume tomorrow. So if they don't get what they want, they're done. And keep in mind, this is This is your voice actors. This is I'm intrigued to hear what you have to say about this, but these are your voice actors, your mocap workers, your quote unquote talent when it comes to this.
Can I pose a question to you, Op? So,
Okay.
with being a voice actor, tell me if this is right, and this is how I see it. There are so many voice actors out there who want a job and want to get into a good show, and a lot of times star power doesn't matter with voice actors if you're just good at it, because really people oftentimes don't know who the voice actor is doing the voice. You know what I'm saying? So hiring somebody who's a known voice actor doesn't necessarily get you as much. So I could see them dropping known voice actors for people who want a job, voice actors like you who want an opportunity in some show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't done anything that anyone would know the name of. So
allow me to piggyback on. I'm sorry, Op. Give me just 1 second.
Mhm.
Not many people, just to echo what Travis is saying, not many people have done a whole lot to where you could say, hey, I recognize that guy. Like, there's maybe off the top of my head, 2 video game voice actors that I could recognize. Charles Martinet, David Hayter.
The Star Trek actors were voice actors in huge shows like Gargoyles. I didn't know they were even in that show, and I watched it every episode as a child until I was older.
Right. Op, I'm sorry. Continue. Go ahead. I apologize.
I forgot what I was saying.
I ruined it. Yeah.
I haven't been anything anybody has recognized, but voice acting today is kind of like YouTube today. Like everybody and his brother has access to YouTube or a YouTube channel. And the market is so saturated with people trying to do a YouTube channel, no one's special anymore. So voice acting is kind of the same way, where everyone's figured out, oh, all I have to do is get a microphone and then try out for something on some website. And there's so many people entering to voice just one character when they might have 4 or 5 different characters and they have like 200, 300 entries. Who's to say that your voice in particular is going to be special? Well, if they can find someone just as good as you or better, they can pay them less and say, I got the job done. So it doesn't really matter who you are at that point because you don't have a face attached to you. Now it's just, all right, I got something that sounds similar. Yesterday, they came out with the Rick and Morty trailer for season 7, I believe it is. And we heard the new voices for Rick and Morty. I don't know if it's one guy or if it's 2 different people doing Rick and Morty. But I would say that Morty sounds close enough to the original, but Rick sounds a little off, but close enough, at least most of the time, if he's not screaming. And I think, they're like, good enough, call it a day.
Right.
There was a voice actor, a YouTuber, and I forget his name. Was it Mikey Bolts? I don't remember. He was very good at doing Family Guy, Peter from Family Guy. He actually did an entire episode of the show and did the voice for an entire episode.
Really?
For
Seth
He sounded
MacFarlane.
so much like Seth MacFarlane at doing that voice that he did an entire show. Isn't that funny?
That's wild.
I'd never know which
Is he
episode it
credited
was.
for it and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
hilarious.
that nuts? Mhm.
And that's the thing, you'd never know.
We should have him on. Let's get him on sometime. What was his name?
I think Mikey Bolts was his name.
So there's a lot here, and I want to tread lightly because I know a lot of. No, I'm not going to tread lightly. Like, fuck this, right? I've said this a million times. Everybody's replaceable. Everybody's replaceable, and the only thing saving these people is the fact that they are a part of a union, right? I live in a non-unionized state, right? I believe in merit. I believe that there is if you have an opportunity, especially in a talent-based, something that's talent-based, right? People ask me, I've been asked 1,000 times, legit, just to do some sort of voice work for whether it's an intro, whether it's a whatever. I've been asked countless times to do voice work for that. But like the reality is that there's people who have way better voice than me and people who have way worse voices than me that have made a living doing whatever it is that they want to do because as a voice actor. But there are people who who can sound like me. There's people who can sound like freaking Morgan Freeman, right?
Yeah, Adam.
Right. Especially with AI. So I think I understand why they'd want to go to bat. But I'm saying this is not a tie ball game in the bottom of the ninth. You're in the bottom of the ninth, down 47 runs, and you're going to lose this game, right? I think that's just the reality of the situation. And anybody who can't look at it logically from that perspective and realize that everybody's replaceable, I don't really have sympathy for them. So that's just me. Hayden came in with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Hayden. Greatly appreciate it, man. That's massive. Says these unions are making me even more anti-union than I already was. And I already saw the unions as the mafia. Individualistic, merit-based employment and personal negotiations work better than a collectivist mindset.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd be interested to see and this is where I'd love to hear other people's perspectives. Do we have anybody in our chat, which I'm sure we do, that is a plumber, is an electrician, pick anything that has a union, a teacher? I would love to hear their perspective on the strengths and weaknesses of being attached to it. I'm sure there's plenty of strengths. We talked about this many, many times. My stance is on the surface, union sounds like a really great idea. But once you kind of dig into it, the thing that ruins it is that ultimately people are the issues with it. People's greed.
They don't do what they should do. Get rid of the bad people. If you're in a union and there's bad workers, get rid of them. Then make the whole union look bad. Don't fight for them and make it so they can't get fired and sue people and get rid of them. I just don't get it.
So Com, one of our mods, he says he's part of the Teamsters. I would love, Com, that's a really good
union panel.
Yeah, that'd be like a really interesting conversation, right? Because
you guys want my mom on the show?
I don't know.
She fired
I'm telling you, she's been to court 1,000 times for firing people in the union.
Right. But to bring it back to the video game thing, it's interesting to see the approach to this, and I don't know how many video game voice actors there are in SAG-AFTRA. I don't know. Is that something that you can
isn't
do?
that with actors and voice actors combined? Let's say James Arnold Taylor, he's an actor and a voice actor. So technically speaking, he wouldn't be able to work, right? Because he's part of that strike.
Right. I think that's what it is they made this as a subsequent thing and for actors who were also doing voice actors to make them pay more dues. Because why wouldn't the actors union just represent voice actors? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is a I think, and my understanding is it's a separate entity, but they tell on people, right? So they'll say, hey, he's doing this. He's not paying, but that's just my understanding of it.
What's interesting is I was going through and I was looking at the SAG-AFTRA website, and I was curious about the dues associated with this, right? And I think that if you're, I have no problem paying dues as long as I'm getting something out of it. But I just thought I'd bring this to the forefront here. The initiation fee is currently $3,000 to be a part of this union. Annual fee is $231. This is as a part of the whole thing. The whole thing.
That's wild.
Actors who are just starting out don't have that kind of money. That's crazy to me.
No. What's interesting about this though is don't have the money, right? Well, guess what? There's a federal credit union. They that's where this kind of
get a loan.
So financial assistance is available.
Oh, Lord.
This sounds like that. We want you to work at Walmart. We want you to live in Walmart. We want you to get your loan through Walmart. We'll give you health care through Walmart. Hey, we got a pharmacy. You can get your hair cut. We got a bank. Come on.
We're going to pay you money and you're going to put it right back in the company. Right.
Get a loan.
Yeah. That's interesting. We'll see kind of what happens, but I think ultimately this will have little to no impact at all in the video game industry. I think the only time it may is in the is if there's, let's just say Fortnite has, celebrity in their game and they want to get their voice for the game, maybe in an instance like that. But I don't think it's going to have a whole lasting effect, because especially when you think of the timeline of video games, the development as, being a couple years for games nowadays. Let's say this last 6 months. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just, we'll get them, we'll get them locked in 6 months after this deal is done or whatever. And it has little to no effect at all in the video game space. So
I really don't think, and like I said, I really don't think star power matters with voice acting as much. Like Johnny Young Bosch was a Power Ranger, right? He's one of the most prolific voice actors around right now. He's on a lot of animes people have watched, and you wouldn't even know he's on it, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's amazing at it too.
Maybe I'm just voice acting to me has never been I've never been one to like follow a specific voice actor. I know a lot of people like, oh, Mark Hamill, he's the best Joker ever and he does great voice acting and stuff, right?
It's a very niche thing.
Yeah,
right.
And I know his voice immediately when I hear it, but that's because his Joker is so recognizable. It's so over the top. You know what I mean?
I think that's, as you said, Op, like, it's very niche and it's very competitive, which does not bode well for a unionized setting. But maybe that's just me.
Voice actor, like I said, James Arnold Taylor, who's very famous for playing like I can't even remember. He does a lot of like video games too, but he's also Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he can also sing and he can also impersonate like Johnny Depp and all these other characters. And it's crazy how like all that they can just impersonate and voice act everything. So yeah, it is replaceable too.
Yeah. Dude came in with a $1 Rumble rant, says it's called the Film Actors Guild. Craig, get it right. Dude, no, that's from is that a South Park reference, or is that's definitely one of those guys reference for sure. But I understand what you're doing there, and it's funny. Chris says actors striking games is like the landscaping crew for the Johnson Space Center striking. Dorks are the most easily replaced part and don't even know it. Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it. Like I said, I would love to say otherwise, but that's just the reality of it, is that it's a niche thing that has that's very competitive. And you hear me writing right now because Matthew came in with the 50
balls.
Look,
I didn't even have to ask.
Let's go. Hey, do me a favor. Blaz, read that off while I'm writing.
Yeah. So Matthew says, when inflation goes up, if you're part of a union, you can strike to make more money. If you're non-union and inflation keeps going up, you're kind of screwed. Look at UPS. They now make $49 USD an hour, and that's because they are unionized. Yeah, we covered that a couple months ago, didn't we? That UPS was going to make big bucks.
That's not necessarily true, though. That's just a shit job. Every job is supposed to give you an annual raise for inflation. If they don't, that's just a shitty job. Get a new job.
Hey, wow. Well, I mean, there's truth in that. Show me those 50s in the chat. And speaking of show me them. Look at it, Matthew. Join the red wave up top next to Super C over here. Love that.
I love his crooked line. Look at that.
It's not crooked. It's perfect. It's perfectly in line with.
It's like the Titanic sinking.
It's not, Blash. Shut up. It lines up perfectly.
Travis is literally tilting his head like, yeah, if you look like this, you go 45 or something.
It makes you like, you're right. It makes his camera look tilted or something.
Yeah, see?
You look tilted.
My background's the same way.
Well, I am tilted.
It's ridiculous.
Travis, did you even juggle your balls for 50?
I did.
Okay, good.
You just couldn't see it. It was off screen.
Oh, that doesn't help.
Hayden says inflation went up and I negotiated higher pay with the company I work for. I get an extra $50 per day. Let's go, Hayden. Let's go. Congratulations. Love to see that. That is great. All right. And by the way, thank you so much. Massive Matthew with the $50 super chat. Let's get some more added to that wall. And by the way, let's get our 20 memberships going today. Let's get on that, man. Let's go. All right, let's move on to our next story. I love Capcom. Op, do you like Capcom games?
I do.
What's your favorite?
I like Resident Evil 5.
Okay. Resident Evil 5. No one likes. Well, let's just say
Did somebody buy them recently then?
No. There was talk. There was yesterday it was just a quick hit where it was like
Okay.
I think Microsoft said something about buying Capcom, and Capcom was like,
I
"No, we're not interested."
I love Capcom.
Microsoft was like, "Oh, I want to buy everybody though." Like, "Oh, Warner Brothers."
Yeah, true.
Okay. And we've talked about the price of games many, many times. Now we've seen an increase of games from $60 to now $70. But the Capcom COO, Chief Operating Officer, has come out and said that he believes that game prices are too low. And I got to be honest, his logic is sound. Is sound. He says development costs are around 100 times higher than they were in the days of the Famicom, but the price of software hasn't risen so much. He obviously talks about they are one of the few companies that still sells their game for 60, where most people have raised it to 70. And he says, personally, I feel the game prices are too low. Development costs 100 times higher than they were back in the days of the Famicom, but price of software hasn't risen much. There's also a need to raise wages in order to attract talented people. Given that wages are rising across the industry as a whole, I think the option of raising unit prices is a healthy form of business. All right. So a lot here.
Don't you guys see this as a double thing though? Like, so the reason prices stayed stagnant is because we went into virtual media. They don't sell games and boxes really much anymore, so it costs them less money. Now, granted, those aren't a lot, but like it still made their profit margins go up for a while. So, I mean, they were able to keep prices lower that way. And I get what he's saying, but I think that's why they've been stagnant for a while.
My opinion on this is that they have so many employees because of all these HR things. You gotta check off all these boxes, so they're just.
What's the Japanese company? It's a Japanese company.
Do they still have all these quotas and demands?
I don't know.
Well, I bet you they have to have it at least, or something, or like to like sell in America maybe. Mm-hmm. I bet you if they like actually kept the people just that they need and got rid of all the excess fluff, meaning the employees they don't actually need, they'd have the money.
What do you think Capcom's revenue was in 2022, the most active year, or most recent year? What do you think it was?
I'll take a guess at $1 billion. $1
billion. Chat, what do you think? Trav, Blabs? Because I think of Capcom as a big company in the video game space.
Year?
2022.
$5 billion.
Well, they haven't really had any new hits, but I'm sure they have like stuff that they're making instant money off of, like dollar here, dollar there. I don't know. $500 million.
Travis is close without going over. I would have thought this was considerably more, but Capcom in 2022 saw a revenue jump of 35% to $774 million.
So without the 35%, it would have been $500 million.
Right. Which is way lower than I thought it would be, to be totally honest with you.
That would be in the billions.
Especially considering, if you remember, we were talking about, this one sticks in my head. We were talking about Nintendo games and the games that they sold, and Luigi's Mansion sold $850 million by itself, which really says a lot. So going back to his idea that games are too cheap. I mean, we've been saying this for so long. Games are cheaper now than they've literally ever been. You have free games. You have games that are, if you just adjusting for inflation, if you were to bring that back to the days of the Famicom, like you mentioned, we're dealing with games that are being sold for $25-$30 and in comparison. So I get what he's saying, but I think the best thing about what he said is like, we want to pay people more, and we want to bring in more talent. So for us to pay people more, we got to make more money. And I think that's very, very logical. So
I was looking something up while we've been talking, and when they sell a digital copy, of course, whoever Steam or whoever sells it gets 30%. That was the cut that retailers used to get when they sold a physical game as well, was 30%. So basically, if they're selling it through one of those vendors online, they're getting the exact same price for the game that they were through Walmart or Target or Circuit City or whomever.
Right.
Which is fascinating.
Extra Zero brings up a really good point that I wanted to bring up, then I lost in the back of my head. But Extra Zero says the difference now between now and the Famicom games is that way more people buy games and production costs are down. All companies that also companies sell DLC can shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Now,
yeah, it's quantity over quantity, right? It's volume buying. You sell so much more, so you can make more money at a lesser per unit, right?
Right. Well, there are considerably more people now playing video games than there ever has been, and like you recall back. Well, you don't remember this, Blast, but in the 80s, 90s, they're primarily a kids thing, and now adults. We've grown up. Now there's adults, and we have our kids playing it, and
mobile games.
Yeah, everybody plays video games now, whereas it was a niche nerd thing.
It was a big thing that Nintendo called it the entertainment system, because that was to get it away from the thought of being for kids and toys and stuff.
You said thought. That's funny. Hose came in with the membership for 8 months. Says, I believe Capcom was the first Japanese G loan, making them the first in Japan to do so.
What's an ESG loan?
Ask Adam.
Oh my goodness. ESG, the meaning of ESG, Trav, is environmental, social, and corporate governance. So
That's
governance.
Weird.
It's a
not even sure what that means.
It's taxes, tax break.
It's from the big companies, the
I'm sure it's the government giving people money. I'm just
right.
Like,
yes, it's money from the devil. Bingo. Right. And dude says the general consensus is that Capcom has been releasing good games recently. Street Fighter 6, Resident Evil remakes, Monster Hunter, DMC 5. They seem to at least be releasing complete games that are fun right now. Right. I'd be interested to see what Street Fighter 6 kind of the sales figures.
Capcom, isn't it?
What's that? Street Fighter?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah.
That's what that 35% increase was from. I kept thinking, why did they get 35%? That what was it? Because all the Resident Evil games came out like 4 years ago or whatever. I kept thinking, what game did they? It's that Street Fighter. That's exactly what it was.
I remember there being an argument when games went from like globally $50 to $60. I think the argument was, we have to raise everything to $60 because the game case costs $10 to make. So okay. So now we're going up to 70. And everything's digital now. So where's my $10 off from the case that I ain't getting?
True, but I think that's why like Steam and those third-party places are charging that 30%. To be honest, they should charge 5% because them game makers are going to get real pissed off about that at some point and go around them. Let's say that.
And this is actually kind of surprising to me. How many copies now? Street Fighter 6 recently was released this year. How many copies do you think Street Fighter 6 has sold?
That's a popular franchise.
Yeah.
17 million.
Okay. Chat. Blabs.
750.
750,000 million. 750 million copies of the game.
900,000.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about copies?
Yes. Yeah.
My bad. I went dollars. Okay. So
I was like, wow.
No. I'm gonna say I don't know, 300,000 copies.
Okay. So as of July, it had sold 2 million copies, which to me is considerably less than what I thought it would sell.
I thought it was more than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, we have to remember that big like name games like for the Nintendo, they only sell 15 million games, usually, unless you're like a Breath of the Wild, but like Mario Karts are what, 20 million copies at most.
Mario Kart is 55 million right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but that's like the top of the top of the top, right? Yeah. That's interesting, right? When you're dealing with that, and I say a user base that's small. I use that term loosely because that's still a lot of people.
Still a lot of fucking money too.
Right. Which, do the math on that, and that's it's a pretty good chunk of change. But
it's not
either way,
even like number 15 on most viewed right now on Twitch. Street Fighter 6.
It's very.
This is why numbers like Minecraft blow my fucking mind. Like how
I don't understand the love for Minecraft.
Like they made more money than most countries. Like,
fighting games appeal to the hardcore community. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, and the games like that, them Street Fighter games stay around a very long time, and so they can sell games. Well, like think of Street Fighter versus Capcom. People still play that to this day. You know what I mean? So they could pump DLC out that for 99 cents or whatever for 10 years, and people pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to our next story. It's talking about pumping things out. Something that shouldn't happen, but is happening. Blabs, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you watch The Office?
I never watched The Office.
God damn it, Blabs. Is there any sort of media that you've ever consumed outside of Harry Potter?
Yes, lots of shows. It was just not something I just never really got into. I've seen like bits and pieces like on YouTube with social medias. I know, like I read the synopsis one day, and I know who gets married to who and all that stuff. Right. Yeah.
But if you've never seen it, you can't talk about it.
I've probably watched The Office about 15 times all the way through.
Have you seen The Office?
I have.
Awesome.
I don't know if I want another one.
Right.
I'll just tell you this, it's too soon, right? And I say that for a reason. Whoever they choose to be the new Michael or the new Pam or the new Jim.
They'll probably be an entirely different character too.
Well, it's not going to be good enough, right? And even if they are entirely different characters, people are going to conflate them as one of those characters. Whoever the boss is, they're gonna compare him to Michael. Guaranteed. And they're not going to be good enough. Why? Because it's still recent in our head. And The Office, people still watch it like constantly. It's like watched as much as Friends is on Netflix and shit like that. So you wouldn't imagine the amount of residuals these people are making like from the shit.
The new boss is going to be like a lesbian.
If people are still watching the current one, why would you make a reboot?
Well, that's what they're doing with like most stuff in Hollywood today, Travis. Like a Harry Potter, for example, Craig. It's thinking, like it's been 10 years since the last movie came out. It's too soon.
The franchise burning a hole and they walling.
They're thinking it's still popular. We can make a new one. It'll be popular too. I think that's the exact reason why it'll be shit.
So this is obviously this is like remaking Friends, right? Friends is one of the most. Friends. Okay, well, it will be touched eventually. You know that will.
I've seen that one like 500 times. Does that count?
What, Friends?
I love Friends.
Oh, good. That's excellent.
Maybe welcome to Buddies.
I think that was so sarcastic there, Craig. Oh, good. That's excellent. You've seen something.
You're picking up on what I'm throwing down. That's good. But yeah, there are certain things that when you look at Friends, they're like, well, had we to make it again today, it wouldn't have been 5 white people. And when you look at The Office, they go, well, there's jokes we wouldn't have done if we did it today, which means that when it's done today, which it will be done today, The Office, Friends, there's going to it's going to be a stripped down version of it. And I think, Trav, you are correct in that people will always compare it to the previous iteration, right? Like, what's the best version of Ninja Turtles? Did you watch any Ninja Turtles growing up?
Yeah, I watched Ninja Turtles. I think the original with the theme song, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like that one.
Right. And there's been about 8 different iterations of it since then, right? The reality is that version, if you go back and look at it, like the theme song really, really slaps, but it's not a very good show, right? And if you were to watch something from the 2000s, it's spectacular, right? But the point is that we are blinded by what we grew up with the nostalgia attached to that, right? And The Office was a fun. I don't even understand why people call The Office edgy, because I don't even think it was very edgy. I just think it was funny.
Maybe episode 1.
Michael Scott's humor was edgy, but think about this. That's the whole point of the character, is he was socially ignorant. right?
Right.
He doesn't know he's being racist. He doesn't know he's being sexist. He doesn't know he's being an idiot. He doesn't know you're not supposed to do all these things as a boss. That's the entire point of his character, right? So if you remove that, what's his character? He's just an asshole.
Right. 100%. I think you nailed it. And that's the part of it is Michael Scott is like the lovable oaf. And there's this arc with Michael Scott that there are times where you love him and there's times where you despise him and
Right.
you
Like
hate him.
What was the joke when I forget what he said? Something flicka, right? And he said, and Daryl said that's slang. We in the hood say that, like something like that. And so then Michael was saying it thinking he was being urban, I think is what he said. And that's hilarious to me because he thinks he's trying to be cool and fit in and all this, and really, it's just Daryl making a joke at how ignorant he is to social cues. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's funny.
The Office was such a hit on Netflix that that Peacock, they own the rights and they were licensing the rights to Netflix. It was the number one show on Netflix for a long time. And it was meant to be one of the main drivers to Peacock. And it was early on. Just like Friends. Friends was meant to be a big driver to Peacock.
Well, HBO, you mean?
I'm sorry. Yes, HBO. I apologize. But Peacock is where you watch The Office. And think about would you watch Peacock if it wasn't to watch The Office?
What else do they have to offer?
Funny enough, I used to watch it on Netflix and then they removed it and put it on Peacock, and they only put, I think it was like the first 4 seasons for free, but after Michael left wasn't for free. And first of all, you should have done it the opposite way because the first seasons were the better ones.
Right.
But I just went somewhere and watched it for free somewhere else without
You mean
ads.
the C's?
So that's probably not a good idea.
Mike came in and says, you're definitely not getting getting another diversity training episode.
Yeah, it's not the episode that basically got removed.
It's the one where they put the things on their forehead and said, you act like the person you see.
But no, there's an actual episode, like a couple episodes, or at least one that has been removed that
I'm not
can't
sure
watch
which
anymore,
one that
like
is.
I know Disney has done that with previous Disney shows that aren't acceptable in today's standards. They remove episodes from Disney Plus.
Yes,
it bothers me because we as a society can't see context of times and realize like Shaft, for example, is blaxploitation. Yes, it is, but it was amusing for the people at the time. One, because Black people didn't have characters on TV representing them. One, you know what I'm saying? So they
just buy the DVDs, people. You don't have to worry about your stuff being deleted.
Yeah, and as far as it was Diversity Day, the Diversity Day episode of The Office. It was when it was reran on Comedy Central. They just conveniently skipped that episode. So, it's one of those things. So, man, I think anybody who watched the original Office, just thinks this is a horrible idea. This is a horrible idea.
Well, isn't The Office already a remake in itself because the UK version was first?
Yeah,
yes.
It was.
Yeah, but it only had 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah. It went deeper in the characters in the US, for sure.
Well, it had that.
Were they the same characters, or were they completely different stories?
They're kind of the same.
Yeah, kind of. Okay. Hal says The Office was already a remake of the UK version, which required a massive overhaul to work because making the Office formula work is very hard. Yes, the UK version is very dry compared to
British.
Yes, for sure. Shane came in and says this is most likely an unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer Parks and Rec over The Office.
I've heard that before. Aren't they very similar? With
very
Chris
similar.
Pratt's character, yeah.
Right. There was a lot of those shows between The Office, Parks and Rec, Community. A lot of these
that
shows
one with the doctors. Oh shit! What was that one?
Scrubs.
Yeah, Scrubs. Kind of similar atmosphere.
Well, Scrubs kind of early 2000s.
First one.
Yeah. But
I like shows with awkward silence.
Welcome to Side
Scrubs.
Scrollers. Let's go. Winterfell came in with the 1999 says the first few seasons of The American Office are a nostalgic gold to me. Like most shows, it ran for a few seasons too long. Them remaking it is an example of why most people don't care about the strike. It's lazy and boring. Thank you, Winterfell. Appreciate that. And I don't think that many people will disagree with that statement for sure. When Michael Scott left The Office, that's when the show effectively ended.
Yeah,
real.
that's kind of like the same for that 70s show when a few of those cast members were like, what was his name? Eric Foreman dipped to go to Africa, whatever. Should have ended it right there.
I don't disagree with that, but I found David California funny. He was so fucking weird.
Yeah, David California was funny.
Was he the new guy?
Yeah, he was played by Kevin. No, not Kevin Spacey. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, he's awkward like Spacey. Yeah. He's got that awkward intensity to him, which is great. Did you watch The Office at all?
I did. I think, after Michael left, it did change dramatically. However, when they brought Michael back for the wedding episode, it kind of made things like come full circle, because Michael spent the entire show trying to get people to like him. And he comes back for the wedding and they don't pay any attention to him at all. He doesn't get, the shot where he's like talking to the camera like this or whatever. He says one joke, that's what she said, and then they leave him the fuck alone. And I'm like, well, Michael used to be like the star of the show. How come they're not paying him any mind? And then I thought about it, and it's like, oh, he got a wife and he got kids, so now he's their rock star. That's all the attention that he needs. That was his arc. It completed. It's over. It doesn't need him anymore. He doesn't need them anymore.
Also, they didn't have enough money to pay him for the lines, but
but they tied it up really well.
Well. But you're right.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. It's James Spader, by the way, not Kevin Spacey.
Yes, as was pointed out in the chat by Nerdy Neo over here. Brobo Fett like, hey, I said it first. I pointed out in the chat. That's funny. Okay, speaking of shows from the late 2000s, early 2010s. I saw this and I thought this was kind of interesting. But before we get to this, I want to remind everybody, hit the thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it if you would. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. We'd love for you guys to join us. We're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Go for about 90 minutes or so. And then we hang out with you guys over on the new Side Scrollers Plays channel. So join us over there as well. Okay. Saw this story. Chevy Chase. He's obviously like this icon. Comedy icon, but he also has a reputation for being an absolute asshat. Have you guys heard of this reputation about Chevy Chase?
Heard about it on Community.
Yeah. Trav, have you heard this reputation? Yeah. Apparently very, very hard to work with. He was asked about Community and why
I heard he was very no nonsense, and that can come off some way as being an asshole, right?
Right. But I think this reputation's kind of followed him throughout his career, all the way back to like Saturday Night Live. And apparently back on the Vacation movies, he was kind of a dick to work with. And those were in the 80s, right? 80s, Vacation was a franchise before Ed Helms tried to bring it back. Oh my God. Speaking of horrible reboots. But Chevy Chase was talking about his time on Community, and he said Community wasn't funny enough for me and didn't want to be surrounded by those people. Now, this is also a great example.
Well, those people.
This is okay. You read that and you're like, wow, that's really shitty. This is a great example of a horrible headline.
It's a clickbait.
Yeah, total clickbait.
I would love some context.
Right. So on a recent episode of Mark Maron's What the Fuck podcast, Chevy Chase addressed his departure from Community. He said, I honestly feel like the show wasn't funny enough for me ultimately. I felt a little bit constrained. Everybody had their bits, and I thought they were all good. It just wasn't hard-hitting enough for me. And asked specifically about his character. He says, I didn't mind the character. I just felt that I felt happier being alone. I just didn't want to be surrounded by that table every day with those people. It was too much.
Sounds like a him problem.
Big different connotation there, but it's still like, I mean,
he just sounds grumpy.
Yeah, you can't get along with nobody.
Well, so it's funny you mentioned that because he was asked later. He says in a 2022 interview with CBS Sunday Morning, Chase addressed accusation he was a jerk while working on Saturday Night Live and Community for 4 seasons, and he was asked about being. He says he departed the later series due to conflicts with Harmon over the direction of his character, an aging tycoon described as a bigot. He said, "I guess you'd have to ask them. I don't give a crap," he said with a laugh after when asked about how he felt about his former collaborators' negative takes on working with the SNL icon. He added, "I am who I am, and I like who I am. I don't care. It's part of me, and I don't care." And I thought about that a lot. I don't know what to tell you, man. I just don't care.
This very much sounds like a guy who's been so famous and so rich so long he just don't give no fucks, and he's just an ass.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, he's just a grumpy old man. You know, he had his day, and now he's just gonna.
What was the guy who played Two-Face in Batman Returns or Forever or whatever it was?
Tommy Lee Jones, yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones. Like he told Jim Carrey while making that, "I have no time for your nonsense," or tomfoolery is what he said. Like, what the fuck kind of shit? What? He's in a movie to be over the top, and you tell him you got no time for his tomfoolery. You're a dick, dude.
But if you recall during our interview with Vega from Street Fighter, he mentioned that Tommy Lee Jones was very straightforward and was kind of.
At least he got what he wanted.
Right.
You understood what he wanted, straight up.
It's funny because
Stewart was like that on Next Generation.
Oh yeah.
So he was like the hardest one there. He's like, "Hey, we're here to work. It's very serious, yada yada."
Right.
And then apparently, like season 2, season 3 comes along. He's like the one that's cracking the most jokes out of all of them.
Well, that was until Michael Dorn broke that egg on his bald ass head, right? That's
never heard that,
by the way. Yeah.
It's funny because
they were filming and he took a raw egg and just cracked it on his head.
Oh wow!
He was being too serious that day.
Wow.
I love the reaction of the chat. Who's like, Chevy Chase is based. He's just like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do my thing.
I mean, he's kind of got the right attitude. I don't give a shit, but at the same time, like, don't be grumpy, miserable, dude. That's how people are gonna remember you.
And if you saw that next paragraph, he said the N word on one. Let's not do that. Come on.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, I think there's a greater than zero chance that if you were very popular in the 70s, you probably uttered that word once or twice. Just gonna throw it out there, like it just in the Hollywood space.
I don't even care.
Oh, okay. Well, wasn't really asking, but I'm glad you did.
I'm just saying people, put so much emphasis on people saying that word at all. It's like,
yeah.
But is it directed at me?
Is he said it? He said it in the workplace. Is my issue. You know what I'm saying? So clearly, you're just being a dick in the workplace.
Right.
Your behavior.
Sure.
Right. All right, let's go to some quick hits. We got a lot of quick hits today. We're gonna do some rapid fire. Blabs, I'm gonna let you lead these. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Blabs, fire away. Go.
All right, so Payday 3 launched a couple days ago, and it's an absolute failure. No one's really able to play it. My friends who have been trying to play for the last couple days finally got to play once, like last night or something like that. They say it's a great game. It's just that the servers are broken and down. So can you imagine launching this big-ass game and then not being able to play it? Now, if you don't know, Payday 3 is like a heist game. You go in, you rob a bank or a jewelry store, whatever it is. So it's kind of a huge flop. Imagine it's not even like top 20 or something on Twitch Live right now as a category. So it's just a flop. It's kind of sad because you put all this effort into it and it launches broken.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Well, it looks like they're looking to make some changes though, huh?
Yeah, but then nothing really happened.
So. Oh. It's still shitty.
Apparently servers are still pretty broken. Like Disprue tried it, Lethal tried it. They can't get into it. So
okay. Bummer.
I hope they don't do those offshore account things anymore.
When they
you
made
can't
that
spend
game,
your money.
They were just looking for a payday.
Like what you did there. Ludicrous Fools says Payday 3's online only. Well, there's your issue. Online only. A game that was not online only. Halo 3.
Yeah, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Launched. I've never played it. I only just started playing Halo, like right before I left for Australia. I played Halo ODST first.
No,
They look
no.
That's a
Yes.
terrible one to start on.
Yeah, it's a
why
horrible
of
one to
all
start.
of them?
I was told to play it because the lore just doesn't make sense, and so if you want to go and do the lore in the continuous way, play that one first and get it out of the way.
The lore of
I would've-
ODST doesn't make sense by itself.
Exactly. That's why you play it first to get it out of the way, and then you play all the other ones consecutively.
No. You would
That's
You
what
play
I
it
was
if you want to
told
be
to
a
do.
weakling, is what you do.
Anyway.
I'm just disgusted.
Or was I playing Halo Reach? I can't remember anymore. It's one of those two.
Reach
Or are they the
wasn't
same
too
one?
bad.
I don't know
but
anymore.
Were you
To
playing
be
as
honest,
Master Chief?
you need to start
No.
with the first one, just
Then it
for
was
the story
ODST.
purposes.
Yes, it was ODST. I was playing as I made myself a chick. She had like greenish armor and orange armor.
ODST is the one that is like
You can
also
choose
like
between
a
being a guy or a
strategy
girl, and you're
game,
like this
right?
random person on that team.
What was the strategy one that was over the top, like Command and Conquer type shit, StarCraft type shit?
I broke Craig
Uh,
again.
Halo Wars.
Was that it? See, I
What's the
never played
matter,
that either.
Craig? Do you want to talk about it?
It's very simple, Blabs. Very
What?
simple. When you want to play a game, you play the first of it. You play Halo 1. Then you play Halo 2. Then you play Halo 3. And then guess what?
Craig.
You play Halo
4.
4.
You play Halo 1, and then you play Halo 1 on Legendary, and then you
The completionist route.
God. Oh, ridiculous. Oh, God. Okay, let's
Why?
go to our next.
I was told to do that by like a couple of massive Halo fans, so I trust their judgment.
Are you a
I
massive
think
Halo
they were
fan?
screwing with you.
No, I was told to do it. Do you hear the words come out of my mouth, Craig?
Yes, then just be a regular person and play the first game. You know?
I was
Well,
told
plus-
to do that, but now I'm not even finishing the game. I'm gonna play Spider-Man for the very first time because
There's
the new
also-
one's coming out soon.
There's also things like in games, like there were transitions with weapons, like they changed the weapons along the way, and it's really useful to learn that type of stuff, how things changed in the games. But I don't know.
Okay. Next story. This is something we've been following extensively here. Is this Unity issue? They've popped in and they've apologized now in the labs.
They have. Now I'm not really too familiar with Unity because I've been MIA for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, let me give you a rundown of this, Blabs. So they announced their fee structure, and they said instead of just buying Unity, now they're going to charge you for installs, there's all sorts of ways to break that system. Every time a game's installed, you be charged X amount or whatever.
That's terrible.
It was messy. So they changed the policy. The revenue cap will be increased from $100,000 to $200,000 with the plan, and with the plan and the made with Unity splash screen requirements will be removed. Okay, so that's like your freebie version.
Mhm.
No game with less than $1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be released. Will be subject to the fee. Oh, great. So yeah, I think they just probably need to take a step back and revert. Op, do you have any opinions on this whole Unity thing?
I think it's kind of a dumb idea because you can get someone to exploit that and make the developers charge the developers a lot of money just for installs and reinstalls or however it works. There's a YouTuber called the Spiffing Brit, and he does exploits like on Steam and stuff. And he says, well, if you buy this game in this exact way, you can get the game essentially for free.
Yes.
Now, let's all go do it at the same time. And then like 100,000 people go do exactly what he's doing. And then it goes crazy and Steam has to do something about it. So imagine if he said, hey, let's all go to Steam and buy and install this game and then uninstall it and reinstall it a bunch of times.
Yeah, the
It would
cost
never work.
associated. Yeah, the cost associated is just silly, just absolutely silly.
Mhm.
All right, let's go to this one. I don't even know what this is about. Blabs, tell me. It's Spider-Man 2. What's happened in Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, there's a new promo out for the video game. It was dropped in the last 12 hours or so, and everyone's freaking out because Venom looks really cool. That was Venom.
Why was he so
Venom was
big?
just not there. Yeah, he looks huge.
Venom.
So this is gonna be exclusive on PlayStation 5, and then probably
looked
like
like-
in a year or so come out on
Oh,
PC
it's
or whatever.
Tom Holland and
Miles, yeah.
Miles Morales together. I like that.
Cool.
All right, nice. There you go. Next, I don't know who this guy is, but he's dead.
How do you not know who that is? Yeah, so NCIS star David McCallum died yesterday. He was really big. He was on the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. He played Ducky in NCIS for the last almost 20 years or so. So yeah, he died, and sad.
So that's not the dude from Harry Potter.
No.
The guy who's like, this is dark stuff. Look, what was his name?
You're talking about Slughorn?
I don't remember.
The Potion Master?
The guy that so when
talking about Horcruxes?
Yeah, when he wanted when he wanted to what's his name? When he wanted to know how to split a soul into so many different parts.
The Horcrux, yeah, it'd be Professor Slughorn.
Yeah. He looks like that dude.
David, was it Jim Bent or something like that? I don't remember his name.
This guy's ears stick out farther, but you're right.
All right there, Travis. Anyway, the point is, this guy is dead, and it's kind of sad because he was like on day 1 of season 1 of NCIS. So,
sorry to hear. I don't like anybody dies. That sucks.
He does have a very Slughorn face. I have a question. Have you guys watched the Ahsoka show?
No.
Okay. I was just thinking if anybody else, maybe somebody in the chat, when I saw Grand Admiral Thrawn, I thought, why does Elon Musk have a blue face and red eyes?
He does look like Elon Musk. I've seen photos of it. And he kind of, like, Thrawn looks like he's had a lot of beard, too. It's pretty funny. It's like this big villain with a big beer belly.
How'd we get there? I don't know.
Yeah,
what's Travis's brain?
My mind
Carry on.
left.
All right. Let's go to this next one here. This is apparently talking about the Snow White film, Blabs.
Yeah, so the budget for the movie has been released, and it's $209.3 million. So this movie has to break a lot, like make a bank. And I doubt it will, because Rachel Zegler scared everybody away with all of her comments. So, yeah. And this movie's supposed to be released in the early of 2024, but I doubt that now with the strikes. She just looks scary, man, in that photo. She looks like she's like a Satan spawn. Look at her.
Yeah, well, and then there's this coming out of it as well with Paddington 3.
Yeah, so she was either dropped or she left. It's not really clear on what happened, but she's out of that movie. And now there's big rumors saying that she's out of Snow White and it's being recast, but I kind of doubt that, to be completely honest. Like, that's a lot of money already to go and refilm stuff.
Oh, wow.
Snow White.
That can't be true. There's no way.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about it, but like, where is this coming from? Like, he said, she said, so therefore it's not really worth talking about, I think, until we actually have like credential stuff out of it.
All right, and let's go to this. I think this is our last one here. This is right up Blabs's alley here.
Yeah, so J.K. Rowling is still not canceled. So I don't know if you know this, but a couple years ago, it was leaked that J.K. Rowling wrote a series, well, one book originally, with a fake name to see if she could make it on her own. And her publisher accidentally leaked it, or somebody leaked it to the press saying, hey, this is J.K. Rowling, actually. And it was a whole thing with lawsuit and everything. And she's still been writing these books under the fake name. And the 7th book was just published today. So J.K. Rowling's still not canceled. I'm sorry, haters. The end.
Oh, okay. There you go. Congratulations. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Is that it? I think so.
I flew through those quick hits like I did. Hi-ya.
Not unless you want to talk about the guy that's masturbating legally in Chicago.
DSP?
No, there's a guy who's in a high rise. He keeps jerking off with his window open and everybody sees it.
Is it landing on anyone?
No, but apparently they called the cops and they can't do anything about it because they said it's legal. He's in his house.
Thanks for sharing, Trav.
Thanks, Trav. This has
I'd enrich my life to know that information.
Let's go here. Let's go with this one.
My whole life without that.
Extra Zero came into this meme. It says the excess time that Blabs is in the core. Okay, what? Hold on. The excessive time that Blabs is the core reason she is cruel to Sonic. Oh, she's drowning Sonic.
There's an updated version if you click on it with the correct caption. The bottom of it.
Let's do it. You read it, Blabs, because I can't read it at all. So
he's like, I'm blind. It says the excessive time that Blabs spent in Roller Coaster Tycoon is the core reason she is cruel to Sonic. And it's me drowning Sonic. It says, stop struggling, Sonic. Anything that goes through a loop-de-loop must drown. Well, to be fair, that is my rule, so it is accurate.
Then we got this one from Extra Zero, Blabs.
It says, when Blabbering City calls out Craig's wall, you have to consider the outcome of this epic battle. Who would win? A bunch of sticky boys and $10 stool of tool.
You're talking $10 stool. Lord, all right, nice.
I can't read either.
Okay, well, listen,
there is one more. Extra Zero just dropped one.
Okay,
on Twitter right now.
Put it in the old chat, or
I'll just share it.
Yeah, I'll get it. Here we go. Nice. I don't see it. That's okay.
Well,
Put it in the chat.
I'll do it.
All right.
Boomer. There.
What do you want? What do you want from me?
It says, most of the viewers of Side Scroll don't know that Mr. Grant Gregory quietly took over the show. Click to expand. So it says, good day, G2s, and welcome to AI Scrollers. And it's Craig. And it says, how about a little T-post and some audio about balls?
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't know G2 was shorthand for Grant Gregory. The more you know.
There you go. Love it. All right. Brief show, quick show today. I want to invite everybody to join me and Blabs over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel. You can find us over there playing Sonic the Hedgehog, as Blabs is going to do her best, horribly, to play Sonic the Hedgehog and try to beat it. It's going to be great. Yeah, I also encourage you guys to go find Op over on all of his outlets. You can find him. There's the down there, Op Williams. Go find him over on the socials, and you can find his link tree and go support him there. As he said, a man of many talents, but few opportunities. In your
link
words,
is in the chat. Click it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Go follow Travis over on Twitch and on Twitter. You can go follow Blabs over on Kick and on YouTube. Now past 500 subscribers. I will not be one of them. No, of course I will. Of course I will, Blabs. I'm just kidding. Just a quick reminder, I'll also be on the Tuesday night main event show tonight over on the Geeks and Gamers channel. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Make sure you guys show up and spread the G2 love. I'll put a tweet out about it as well. So look forward to seeing you guys then. Appreciate you guys popping in. Op, what a stud. Appreciate your longtime support. What a stud. Oh, crap. Lowell's is Forge came in with the $5 super chat. When we were talking about this. I'm sorry I didn't get to this till just now. He says, this is why Seinfeld is goated. They stopped at their peak. They did it right. They sure did. But yes, appreciate you guys popping in. Yes, as we will right now. With that said, guys, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Catch you guys later.